Check one, two.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Testing audio. Check 1 2.
Good morning, everyone. As we begin today's meeting, we would like to acknowledge that we are gathering here today on the traditional territories of the Mississaugas of the Credit, Haudenosaunee, and Wendat nations who have called this land home since time immemorial. We recognize the Mississaugas of the Credit as the original rights holders and signatories of Treaty 19, the Adjutant's Purchase of 1818, and that the agreements made therein are foundational to our nation-to-nation relationship. As a city, we are committed to our ongoing role in reconciliation through meaningful action rooted in truth, justice, and respect. We are grateful to the original caretakers of this land who have ensured we are able to work, play, and live in Brampton now and in the future. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our meeting of Brampton's Committee of Council. All members are present today, Madam Clerk. Just a quick confirmation on roll call. We've got members here in person as well as virtually.
Through you, Chair, we have Councillor Keenan joining us online today, and Councillor Tour has sent his regrets.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. The next item is approval of the agenda. Madam Clerk, I believe you will summarize anything that's been added to the agenda since it was last published.
Through you, Chair, the following items have been added through revisions to the agenda. 6.4, a delegation was added for surplus declaration of lands. 6.5, a delegation was added regarding community safety and well-being, a presentation was added. 6.8, a delegation added their presentation. 6.9, presentation was added to a delegation. 6.12, a delegation was added. 7.1, the presentation was added. 10.1.2, a presentation was added. 10.2.7, a report was added. 10.2.8, another report was added. 12.2.4, the report title was updated and the report added. 12.2.5, the report was added and an attachment was added with the report.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Do any members wish to add anything or change anything on the agenda? I have Councillor Palleschi followed by Councillor Brar. Councillor Palleschi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'd like to add in-camera item, and I believe the clerk has the wording.
Through you, Chair, it will be closed session item 15.4, a discussion item regarding Siemens, and it is pursuant to section 239(2) K and E.
And Madam Chair, I'd also like to add a discussion item about City Hall elevators. We all know what that's about.
What happened?
In open?
In open, definitely on open. They don't open.
All right, thank you, Councillor Palleschi. I now have, not Councillor Brar? Okay, Councillor Vicente.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wires were crossed. I'd like to withdraw item 10.1.1, staff presentation on asset lifecycle renewal update, and also 10.2.1, the staff report for the asset renewal lifecycle update at the request of staff. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Councillor Vicente. Any further additions or amendments to the agenda? No one online? Okay, seeing none, motion moved by Councillor Palleschi to approve the agenda. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? The motion carries. The next item is declarations of conflict of interest. Do any members of committee have any declarations of pecuniary interest for any matter related to the agenda today? Seeing none, the clerk will so note. The next item on the agenda is our consent motion process. I will read each agenda item that is subject to the consent motion, and any member may verbally identify the item to be held for debate during the meeting. Any item that's not held for debate will be considered as part of the consent motion and voted on for approval. 7.1 Staff Update, Government Relations. Consent. 9.2.1 Staff Report, Agreements Executed by Administrative Authority. Consent. 9.2.2 Staff Report, Capital Project Financial Status Report Q3. Consent. 9.2.3 Staff Report, Pay on Demand Surety Bond Policy. Deputy Mayor?
I don't want to hold it. I don't need to hold it. I just want to say thank you. I know Councillor Palleschi's been advocating for this. I read the report. It was really good. I just want to state that for the record. Thank you.
Noted for the record, Deputy Mayor. Good job, Councillor Paleshi. 9.2.4, Staff Report, Salary Administrative Policy Annual Reporting. Consent. 9.2.5, 2025 Staff Report, Third Quarter Operating Budget Forecast. In consent. 9.2.6, Staff Report, 2025 Third Quarter Reserves and Reserve Fund Report. Consent. 9.2.7, Madam Clerk, surplus declaration of city-owned, and I do believe we have a delegation, so that is being held. 9.2.8, staff report 2026 user fees. Consent. 10.1.1, staff presentation, asset renewal, life cycle, that's been withdrawn. 10.1.2, staff presentation, intelligent transportation systems update. Anyone wish to hold that one? Yeah, I believe two. Okay, so hold, Deputy Mayor. 10.2.1 staff report, that's been withdrawn. 10.2.2, also going to be held because of the presentation. 10.2.3, staff report, model franchise agreement with Enbridge Gas. Consent. 10.2.4, that is being held. Downtown Transit Hub, we do have a delegation on that matter. 10.2.5, staff report, request to begin procurement and budget amendment for roof replacement CAA Center. In consent. 10.2.6, staff report, review of transitional property at 56 Flavian Crescent, Ward 3, although I think it's Ward 7, actually. Okay, in consent. 10.2.7, staff report, budget amendment for safety impacts related to ASC transition. I'll be holding that. 10.2.8, staff report, request to begin procurement for storm sewer system management systems, maintenance systems. Consent. 10.3.1, minutes, school traffic safety council. Consent. 10.3.2, notice of motion, no parking changes on Prowse Drive. In consent. 11.2.1, staff report, request to begin procurement, design, supply, installation of splash pads. In consent. 11.2.2, staff report, request to begin procurement, supply, and delivery of picnic tables. In consent. 12.2.1, staff report, personal transportation company trip rate fee increase. Madam Clerk, I don't think we have any delegations on that.
We have none registered, Chair.
Okay, so in consent, no one wants to hold it. 12.2.2, staff report 2026-2030, a compliance audit committee. In consent. 12.2.3, staff report, lottery licensing bylaw. Any delegations on this matter? Nope. Okay, in consent. 12.2.4, staff report, automated speed enforcement program update and impacts of Bill 56. I'm holding that item as well and grouping it together. 12.2.5, staff report, residential rental licensing program framework update, held. 13.1, referred matters list, in consent. 15.1, closed report, response to antisocial behaviors for events in city parks, held by Councillor Brar. 15.2, closed report, William Osler Systems local share funding. In consent. 15.3, closed report, information update 8 Rutherford Road South, that is being held.
I'm going to hold 15.2.
Oh, 15.2 is also being held. And then we've also added 15.4, of course. Okay, Madam Clerk, I will now hand it over to you to summarize the items to be included on the consent motion for approval. Oh, yes, Mr. Councillor Medeiros and Councillor Fortini.
Sorry, Madam Chair, I missed staff report 9.2.5, third quarter operating budget forecast. I'd like to hold that.
Okay, thank you. And Councillor Fortini?
Yeah, just for clarification, on Falanian Drive there, number 56, it's Ward 8, not Ward 3?
Okay, Ward 8, not Ward 3 or Ward 7. It is Ward 8. Are
Ward
you
8,
sure, Councillor Fortini? Okay. That is Ward 8. But we're still putting it in consent? Yep, okay, perfect. So that's just a correction. Back to you, Madam Clerk. Oh, Councillor Paleshi.
Sorry, Madam Chair, I would like to hold, I just had the picnic, 11.2.2, the procurement supply of, delivery of picnic tables.
Picnic tables.
Please, thank you.
Okay. We're holding the picnic tables item for Councillor Paleshi as well. Okay, Madam Clerk, you've got everything? I'll now hand it over to you to summarize everything that is to be put in the consent motion.
I'll just clarify before I start, closed session 15.3. Was that
Held,
held?
yes, I held it, yeah. Anything to do with 8 Rutherford will have to be held.
Okay. Through you, Chair, the following items will be included on the consent motion. 7.1, Government Relations Matters. 9.2.1, Staff Report, Agreements Executed by Administrative Authority. 9.2.2, Staff Report, Capital Project, Financial Status. 9.2.3, Staff Report, Pay on Demand Surety Bond Policy. 9.2.4, Staff Report, Salary Administrative Policy. 9.2.6, 2025 Third Quarter Reserves and Reserve Fund Report. 9.2.8, Staff Report, 2026 User Fees. 10.2.3, Staff Report, Model Franchise Agreement with Enbridge. 10.2.5, Staff Report, Request to begin procurement for the roof replacement on the CAA Center. 10.2.6, Staff Report, Review Transitional Property, 56 Flavian Crescent. 10.2.8, Staff Report, Request to begin procurement for storm sewer system maintenance systems. 10.3.1, Minutes of the Brampton School Traffic Safety Council. 10.3.2, Notice of Motion, No Parking Changes on Proust Drive. 11.2.1, Staff Report, Request to begin procurement for splash pads. 12.2.1, Staff Report, Personal Transportation Company Trip Rate Fee Increase. 12.2.2, Staff Report, 2026 to 2030 Compliance Audit Committee. 12.2.3, Staff Report, Lottery Licensing Bylaw. And 13.1, Referred Matters List. Is everybody?
Just for confirmation to everyone around the table, we're good to go. Councillor Vicente, you're on the board.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to confirm, are we holding 11.3.1, the minutes of the Brampton Sports Hall of Fame Committee, or is that in consent as well? 11.3.1 is in consent. Very good.
I don't see 11.3.1 on the agenda.
It's the minutes of the Brampton Sports Hall of Fame Committee, November 6, 2025.
Okay, perfect, great.
Okay.
Yeah, 11.3.1 will be in consent, perfect. Okay, moved by Deputy Mayor Singh to approve today's consent agenda. All in favor? Any opposed? That carries. That now brings us to announcements and public delegations. Before we begin delegations, I just want to note to the delegates in the room and all those who are online that we have a very stacked agenda today. So as chair, I will not be allowing extensions beyond 5 minutes for the delegations. So please note that your delegations must be within 5 minutes in order for us to get through the agenda today with numerous reports and closed session items. Madam Clerk and team, I would ask that we strictly enforce that today. So maximum 5 minutes for the delegations. On top of that, there are delegations that are associated with various reports. Those reports will be brought forward to be dealt with at that time, with the exception of the report dealing with 8 Rutherford, because 8 Rutherford needs to be dealt with in camera first, and the open session report of 8 Rutherford will be dealt with after closed session. That's just to help us with the flow of the meeting today, and hopefully we could get out of here before 5 p.m. All right, the first delegation that we have is, I believe, we don't have anything on the fee changes, we don't have anything on the mobile lot bylaw or the lottery licensing bylaw, so we've got now 6.4, delegation regarding the surplus declaration of lands located at 8 Rutherford Road. We would like to welcome Sheikh Walid Al-Maki, Imam and Vice President, and Danya Flynn, Principal of Dune Academy. Thank you for joining us today. We welcome you for your delegation. You have up to 5 minutes. And just so you know, we'll be dealing with this matter later on in the agenda in closed, followed by an open session discussion about the report. Over to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Good morning, councillors, and thank you so much for allowing us to come and speak with you today. My name is Dana Flynn, and I'm the co-founder and principal of Noon Academy, private school and educational center. We're a full-time private school and community hub. We offer elementary and secondary full-time education, along with youth programs, community learning, and weekly prayer services. Over the last 4 years, demand for our academy has continued to grow to the point where we're unable to fulfill that with our space right now. We're currently renting a portion of 8 Rutherford from the city, which is used for our school to offer outdoor activities and recreational activities for our students. So we're here once again, this is, I think, third time to, respectfully renew our request to either lease or sell the surplus designated land adjacent to our location. Securing this land is essential for us to continue offering our students a safe place to participate in outdoor activities, and also for us to continue to meet the educational and community needs of our community. We're fully prepared to, work with the city in a partnership in co-developing the land. Our proposal, it can include sharing the building and land use, also allowing the space to serve both our school, like Noon Academy students, as well as offering a broader range of recreational activities for our recreational space for the city of Brampton itself. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
Does
so
that
much.
conclude your delegation?
It does, yes.
Thank you so much. Councilor Maderos.
Thank you through you, Madam Chair. Thank you for being here today, and
Thank you so much for having me.
certainly it's one of the schools, institutions that I'm so proud of, because I know the work that you do in the community, and it extends beyond. Can you tell me, how long has the school been in existence?
So we actually opened the school, Noon Academy, in 2007. We've been at our current location, going on to 15 years.
And I was elected in 2014. However, through you, Madam Chair, that was the first time I remember one of the first asks was, in fact, having recreational space, because you guys were, lack of a better term, busting at the seams.
Yes.
And certainly there wasn't that outlet. Can you, since 2007, have you been in contact with the city expressing interest about that area?
Absolutely, we have actually. Before, when we first rented 12 Rutherford, it was the fire station, and then behind it was St. John's Ambulance. I don't remember the year, but St. John's Ambulance was moved, and from that time, we've been actually asking for that land. Our school right now, we started by renting 1 unit in our current building, and right now we're at 5 units. We've taken over 5 units. Unfortunately, we're unable to take more units because the rest is being rented out to other renters, and also because of the area itself, it wouldn't allow us to expand further. So, yeah, we have been in contact with the city since St. John Ambulance was moved.
Yeah, and through you, Madam Chair, I guess I would say the expression of interest goes back, dated many years.
Yeah.
And were you taken aback, or was it a surprise that you got this notice that we're going to declare this land,
As a
or
surplus?
there might be declaring surplus?
Absolutely, we were surprised because just last year we were told that it wouldn't be. So it did kind of sidetrack us a lot, yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, and
Thank you so much.
continue. Thank you for all the things that you do for the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully we'll get something. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your delegation. Moved by Councilor Maderos to receive the delegation. All in favor? Any opposed? That carries. The next delegation is from Mr. Monahar Singh Bal. You have up to 5 minutes regarding the community safety and well-being.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity. My name is Manohar Singh. As you said, we are making this presentation on behalf of the Ontario Gurdwaras Committee, and with me is Mr. Gurdev Singh, who is the president of Gurdwara Guru Nanak Mission Center here in Brampton. We would like to bring the following to your attention, and would like the city to take new initiative and coordinate efforts to address these concerns. First being community policing and police presence in our community. There is a consensus in the community that police response time in cases of distress is very slow, very long, and sometimes there is no show at all. community policing, a simple search on Google describes how many ways in which community can help the police in policing the neighborhoods, streets, and the entire city. These partnerships are crucial for building trust, sharing information, and collectively addressing public safety concerns. These are the two basic models which we are here to present on page number 1 of our presentation. One is the Neighborhood Watch Group. These groups organize local surveillance and communication to report suspicious activity and help prevent crime at grassroots level. Citizen Patrol, volunteers, sometimes referred to as Canadian Citizens on Patrol, actively patrol these communities to increase police visibility and report quality of life issues or potential crimes. Going to page number 2 of our presentations, other ways to do the community policing is Crime Stoppers. This program is a partnership between the public, police, and media that allows citizens to anonymously provide crime-related tips. We as a community would like the city to initiate a dialogue with Peel Regional Police and Peel Services Board to establish mechanisms for citizens to play a significant role in policing Brampton. Some of the immediate tasks which could be undertaken: reporting of speeding drivers, illegal parking, parking at handicapped parking spaces, and bylaw violations and enforcements. And subsequently, mechanism be developed for police to follow up on these tips and charging the accused. The next item which we want to bring to the attention of the city is the extortion task force, which was set up by the Peel Regional Police. A significant portion of the population in the community have previously lived in an environment where police do not have very positive and professional image. As such, the segment of population do not trust and or cooperate with the police. Initiatives and cooperation under community policing and more presence of police will help and hopefully will provide tips to eliminate extortion in the community. We think police presence and police working with the community must be visibly seen. The next item which can help bring the crime under control would be the violent behavior, in which police, through the community policing initiatives, can significantly reduce violent behavior of citizens. There is a special need to educate new Canadians about the Criminal Code of Canada and what are the impacts of engaging in a criminal act on an individual and on the family. The next item, again, as I mentioned earlier, is the police presence in the community. And from our view, from the community at large, there is a dire need to educate the community about policing, crime, and community safety issues. Need is to make more presence of mobile police units in the community. The best place to do such a type of outreach in the Sikh community is through the Gurdwaras. This type of outreach makes community at large comfortable in talking to the police about various issues. So this is basically our submission, and we look forward to the city to initiate some kind of a process by which these issues of community policing and community presence and extortion cases could be addressed in our community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for your delegation and for being on time.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
Right, Ashley.
Questions from Deputy Mayor Singh?
Yeah, thank you, Manohar-ji and Gurdev-ji. I wanted to ask, did you also forward this letter to the police?
Yes, no, we haven't so far.
Okay, so we'll get you the emails. I think we should do that as well. I did have the opportunity, and Mayor Brown is away on business. He'll be here soon, but I do want to update you. Oh, he's here? Okay, because, okay, he's online. But I wanted to acknowledge the fact that he led the charge to get the Bishinoy gang designated as a terrorist organization, as you know. And he's been raising this in Ottawa as well, extortion. I had the opportunity to talk to, ask Chief Nish questions at the last regional meeting regarding specifically extortions as well, because I know other issues I feel like, you know, have been improving in Brampton, whether it comes to auto theft and burglaries, but this is the one issue we keep hearing, and I know in the last few months and I know you know many people who have gotten duty to warrants and the extortions, and there's been a rise once again. So I'm happy you're raising this. We'll continue to advocate as well. I brought up duty to warrants as well in public with the chief as well, that we need to do more to provide supportive services around that. It's not just, hey, there's a warning to your life and good luck. You know, it has to be more than that. And I know that's something you folks have raised as well. Yeah, so I just wanted to acknowledge the work you've done, and that we'll continue as a council advocating and ensuring the safety of our residents.
Yeah, one thing I definitely would like to reinforce is that, as I mentioned in my presentation as well, the number of people who are especially in the surroundings of the Gurdwaras are very new Canadians who have been living here maybe less than 5 years. And there's need to definitely educate them about our criminal system, our rules and regulations and everything. So in that regard, I guess the city and the police services board can definitely play a more positive role in terms of their presence, not only on the events to make a speech of 2 or 3 minutes, but getting really involved in some of the communities, maybe having an information table on one of the gurdwaras, for example, where one police officer and one person from the community is sitting and coordinating and talking to the people, by which they become more aware of how the policing works in this part of the world, and then play a more positive and active role in curtailing the crime in our society and the city as a whole. So I would like to see those kind of a grassroots type of activities more in our community and in the Gurdwara, so that these kind of initiatives could be taken.
I think that's a great idea. I think we'll start with sending the letter there, even delegating at the Police Services Board, and then coming back with a strategy. I'll work with you on that. If I can, I just want to pivot lightly, but because you're here, I want to acknowledge the hard work of planning staff on your development application as well. We have our commissioner here as well. I want to give a shout out to Angela Harjo. I know throughout the years, and our chair as well. I know throughout the years we made a lot of progress, and we look forward to working together. But because you're here, I did want to acknowledge the work of our planning staff and the planning process as well.
Good. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. I also have, if you could stay, Mr. Monohar? If you can stay. Mayor Brown also wanted to share a question or a few words. Mayor Brown.
Yes, I just wanted to add to what our Deputy Mayor Harkirat Singh shared, and I know I'm just a few minutes away from City Hall, but the issue of extortions is something that Brampton has really raised our voice on a national level. I had a meeting with Public Safety Canada about transnational crime and extortions, along with the mayors of Edmonton and Surrey. This is an issue that is confronting many diverse communities, and unfortunately, it's working for organized crime because we have victims who are paying. And so what I wanted to say is, please collaborate with police. If anyone is a victim to extortion, please tell the police right away. They are there to help. We have a task force on extortions in Peel Region to really dedicate resources to making sure there are proper investigations and arrests. But thank you for coming forward and raising this. We're going to continue to make sure that Peel Police have a robust response. I also wanted to respond to your comment about working with faith leaders. We do have an ongoing dialogue with the Peel Police with faith leaders. For example, tomorrow, the Peel Regional Police leadership is meeting with all the imams in Peel Region. But whether it's Gurdwara leaders, church leaders, whether it's Mandir leaders, there is an ongoing dialogue. We really believe that faith leaders can be partners in helping cultivate a safe environment and a safe city. And so that's a wonderful suggestion, and I will certainly pass it on to Chief Nish and our federal colleagues for settlement services. So, settlement services are done at a federal level, and some of your input in terms of understanding the Canadian criminal code laws, I think are well put, and we'll pass that along to the federal minister.
Yeah, thank you very much. And one of the main objectives of making this presentation was and is and will continue to be that more community individuals interact and dialogue with the police, so that whenever they fear a case of extortion or any other act of violence for that sake, they should feel comfortable in talking to the police. And as I said earlier, some or many of the new Canadians who are here living in the city of Brampton do not have that feeling of openness with the police at the present. We hear all those things and all those concerns pretty well every day in the gurdwaras, in all the gurdwaras. So if we have more community-based initiatives by the police, by the city, by the community, of course, then hopefully these violent crimes and extortion cases will be solved maybe more quickly, and people will be more comfortable and happy living in the city of Brampton. So that's our main aim and objective here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor Brown. Thank you to our delegates. Motion from Deputy Mayor Singh to receive the delegation. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That carries. The next delegation is from Rocky Parejo, Head Coach, Studio Manager regarding Fitness Ambassador of the City of Brampton. Is Rocky here in person? Hi, Rocky. Good, good, good. You have up to 5 minutes for your delegation.
All right, thank you guys. So I wanted to go with this from a total fitness point of view, but then I really wanted to sum it down into sort of an innovation in fitness, which happens to just be pickleball, as simple as it sounds. Tying in pickleball into Brampton's sort of fingerprint on the fitness community, I think we could actually lead Brampton into sort of being one of the fittest communities and fittest cities in Brampton. There are markers that we could judge that by in terms of how many active hours people are doing activities a week. Together with a lot of the programs that you guys have at the community centers, and you just launched a new app for the Peel or Brampton Recreation. Together with all these little things, we could actually turn Brampton not only to the other innovative things that they're doing in terms of technology and industrialization and all the rest of it, but also with terms of fitness, we could actually make Brampton a beacon in Canada if we could start to get on this train right now in terms of pickleball, and then also weight training, and make sure that we get all the benefits that come from that, including, extended lifespan. Obviously with the hospitals, we could also raise money from it with different charities, a lot of different things. I think you could sort of envision that we could do. I play a lot at Save Max, I play at Gore Meadows. These places have 60 and 70, 80-year-olds, as athletic as I might be. They're beating me left, right, and center. And believe me, anyone who's gotten into this sport 2-3 days, 2-3 times, they could tell you that, yes, this sport is about to really change. And I don't mean to say this, it's not an exaggeration. It could change the way older people in the history are being able to extend their life. I don't think there's any time in history where as we get older, we have access to this level of activity. Also to do with the mind and everything like that. I don't think there's ever been a time in history where there's an access to a sport like this, where we can become fitter and fitter as we get older and older. That's what I got right now.
Thanks so much, Rocky, for your delegation. We are actually investing a lot in pickleball in the city of Brampton, outdoor facilities as well as indoor. I know one of the first outdoor lit pickleball courts is in my ward, Calverdale Park. Very proud of it. So thank you for your delegation. Motion from Councillor Rod Power to receive the delegation. Anyone opposed? That carries. Thank you so much for your passion.
Thank you, guys.
The next delegation is from Prashant Panda and members of the Westfield Community Group regarding the Embleton Community Center. Prashant Panda, you have up to 5 minutes. Are you here? Online, virtual. Westfield Community Group, are you here? Virtual, in person?
Prashant, can you unmute yourself?
Prashant, if you could please unmute your microphone. Okay, I think we might be having some technical difficulties. I see that Prashant is online. Prashant, are you able to unmute your microphone? No. We're having some technical difficulties. Okay, so while we figure out the technical difficulties regarding delegation 6.7, I'm going to move to delegation 6.8, and we'll put a hold until we can figure out what's going on with Prashant's mic. So 6.8, who is here in person, a delegation from Carolina. Is Carolina here from the Horticultural Society? Regarding
I am,
the,
however,
oh,
I'm
you are
online.
online. Here we are. Okay.
Yes.
So Carolina, thank you for joining us. You do have up to 5 minutes maximum, please. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning, councilors. Thank you. I hope not to take up the full 5 minutes. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. Apologies for being remote today. I wasn't able to join you in person. I've been made aware that our organization isn't as well known at City Hall anymore, although we have a long history of serving Brampton, both through the City of Brampton as well as through independent initiatives. The Brampton Horticultural Society has been in the City of Brampton for 130 years now. We are a city-affiliated organization, and our purpose is to teach and promote gardening, outdoor beautification, and protection of the environment in Brampton. Next slide, please. Some of the things that we do in partnership or as a service to the City of Brampton are the in-person lectures that teach participants of the backyard gardening program how to start their seeds, as well as our biggest event, Seedy Saturday, where residents are encouraged to swap or purchase seeds and learn about growing vegetables and flowers from seed. We also hold an annual flower show called Brampton Blooms. Next slide, please. I included a few photos of the show, some of which are from when the event was last at City Hall in 2016. Next slide, please. And next slide, please. Flower show is an exhibition of horticultural specimens, usually flowers, although vegetables can be included as well, and floral designs. Unlike something like the Royal Horticultural Society's Chelsea Flower Show in England, ours is a one-day event and is on a much smaller scale and a lot less intimidating. Brampton Blooms was previously presented in the City Hall atrium from 2005 until 2016, but has since been in the Bob Callahan Flower City Seniors Recreation Center. We would like to bring the flower show back to City Hall in 2026, which would what we believe would coincide with the first weekend of the farmers market in June. Next slide, please. Even though we have a long history and many different initiatives, our budget is actually quite small. The City Hall atrium would be expensive for our group, even as an affiliated organization. The request of this delegation is for the city to agree to either waive or subsidize the rental fee and associated costs. Having Brampton Blooms at City Hall would allow us to reach a far greater number of visitors and participants than we get at our current venue, grow the event, and interest more people in gardening as we are Flower City. So again, thank you for the opportunity to share this information with you.
Thank you so much, Carolina, for your delegation. Do any members have questions? Councillor Paleshi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm happy to support looking into coming back for 2026. I think there was a few meetings ago, Councillor Keenan, I think, was talking about events that were happening. I thought that a report was coming back to council, so I'll leave that with staff. But also, I'd like to maybe expand on that and offer the Horticultural Society an opportunity to be involved with the Environmental Education Center, specifically the outdoor space. If there's, we're gonna have a ton of outdoor space with Credit Valley Conservation Authority, and maybe the Horticultural Society can be a part of that as well. For in the future, when that is built. So if that's an opportunity, I'm happy to refer that back to staff.
We would love to be involved. Sorry.
Excellent, thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Paleshi. Councillor Keenan.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Councillor Paleshi. Yeah, this is something that I was previously working on. I did attend this year. It was fantastic, and I would love to see it come back to the atrium. Like Councillor Paleshi, this could be referred to staff to work with the delegation to do so. That would be great. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Paleshi. Councillor Keenan. That is a referral motion to staff for consideration as well as further consideration in the future with planning to the Environmental Education Center, as Councillor Paleshi has shared. But I also just wanted to share that the Horticultural Society, I believe, is a nonprofit organization, correct?
Yes, we are. We are a registered charity.
Perfect. And totally love the backyard program, the Seedy Saturday program. I participate, do videos, and promote it through Century Gardens as chair of community services. But what I will share is I think that moving forward, if possible, the Horticultural Society, please apply moving forward to the Advanced Brampton Fund. All nonprofits apply to that fund to support events like you're presenting today. So on top of the referral for next year, can you please make sure in years to follow the same process as all other nonprofits across the city of Brampton? That is what the Advanced Brampton Fund is for.
Absolutely.
Thank you, because we cannot
Yes.
ongoingly have an Advanced Brampton Fund and then have nonprofits come and delegate to council every single time. It's
Completely
just not
understand.
sustainable, okay? Thank you so
Yes.
much. So referral motion from Councillor Paleshi, all in favor? Anyone opposed? That carries. Is Mr. from Delegation 6.7 here, Mr. Prashant Panda, members of the Westfield Community Group regarding the Embleton Community Center?
Hi, can you hear me?
Perfect. Now we can hear you. So we have a delegation regarding the Embleton Community Center from the members of the Westfield Community Group. Mr. Panda, you have up to maximum 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Chair, Mayor, members of council and city officials. My name is Prashant Panda, resident of Ward 6, and I'm here on behalf of Brampton Community Center, as Westfield Community. Today, we are here not to request a new project. We are here to demand accountability for a project the planning committee proposed nearly a decade ago, the Embleton Community Center, which has now become a textbook example of broken promises, failed planning, and disregard for residents who have been asking for acceleration of the project since 2018. We have been asking this request for almost 8 years now. And then I just go with the timelines. From 2016 to 2017, there was a request from the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. And then it was mentioned in that master plan that there should be a community center built by 2024. The construction should have been started in 2022, which never happened. So in 2018, as a group from our Westfield community, we requested to expedite the project. And we asked Councillor Paleshi, we met MP, MPP, everybody to expedite the project, but nothing actually took any place. The other thing is, in this area, Ward 4, 5, 6, since 2011, Stats Canada has projected there will be at least 30,000 new people joining in the coming into the area. So 2018 to 2022, years of delay and pattern of excuses. Residents spent 4 years attending meetings, submitting petitions between 4 years, and delegating at council meetings, simply to push forward a project city staff had already planned. And in 2022, the first major delay happened. The city pushed the timeline from 2022 to 2024. The construction beginning date was actually pushed to 2024. This was Councillor Paleshi who actually committed to us. During this same period, Mississauga completed major recreation facilities. The 9th Line Community Center was completed, and then province actually took major project, Highway 401 expansion from Mavis to Milton, which are in the vicinity in our area. this isn't about, so the reason which was told to us for the delay was COVID, but this isn't about pandemic. This is about priorities. Then from 2023 to 2025, broken commitments again, budget promises, and no construction. In 2024, the timeline was again delayed, this time shifting the expected start to 2025 to 2028. This occurred despite the council's prior commitment to an early start, which was acknowledged in the past delegations and resident meetings. The most recent one was in July 30, 2025. Mayor Brown and Councillor Brar were at Gita Park. There were 100 residents, and Mayor Brown committed that construction would start in October 2025. And then there is a WhatsApp group. In that WhatsApp group, Mayor actually mentioned it will start in November 2025. And today, it's November 26th. Still, no equipment, no fencing, no preparation, no visible action. So it seems like just words. This raises a serious question for council. Why does the city keep developing the new plans, new studies, and new projections when it cannot deliver the plans it already approved years ago?
Mr. Panda, you have 1 minute left.
Yeah. So I just wanted to, can I extend another minute?
No, sorry, Mr. Panda, we have a lot of delegations. We're doing a strict 5-minute rule.
Okay, so I just wanted to tell you, like, Brampton installed 185 automated speed cameras across the city, which is the highest by any municipality in province. So it's not a funding issue, that's what we can say. When the city wants something done, it finds the staff, the money, the political will. For Embleton Community Center, that will is missing for 8 years. And a growing community left without even basic amenities. We do not have a full-size library in the area, depriving children, senior students, and newcomers of the essential learning and community resources. This committee is not asking for luxuries. We are asking for basic infrastructure that every modern city is expected to provide. We are paying high property taxes for development that is supposedly funding this infrastructure. Yet our children who
Thank
need
you, Mr.
recreation
Panda.
outlets.
The 5 minutes is up. Thank you for your delegation. Mayor Brown has a question and follow-up.
To respond to this delegation, and you're going to be very happy to know that this community center is on the way. I believe there's been a groundbreaking set for December 9th, and you should be very happy that despite the obstacles, this council has said that your recreation center is important. And let me note that when we had that community meeting that Councillor Brar was at, and we said that the construction would start this year, December 9th is still this year. I'd go further and to say that this is probably the largest recreation investment in the city's history. I believe there's $125 million budgeted. This would be the largest recreation investment in the city, so you're very fortunate to live in this area. I can tell you that in 2018, when I was elected mayor and we were looking at the long-term budget for the city, there was no funding allocated for this. And Councillor Peleschi was overly passionate about the need for this recreation center. I can tell you that in the last election, we put in our literature, we're going to get this built because it was so important. I don't think there's been an issue that I've heard as much feedback from the two local councillors, Councillor Brar and Councillor Peleschi, on the importance of this project. There were certainly challenges. One challenge being that we went through the COVID period where there was massive inflation, and then more recently, we saw unfortunately a situation where contractors were requesting inflationary bids due to the trade war with the U.S. And to compound the challenge, to compound the obstacles the city's faced, right now the province has changed when we collect development charges from building permit to occupancy. So there is no, I've seen the correspondence, you're saying the city has collected development charges for this. That's not the case. And just so you can hear it from our city treasurer, have development charges been collected for Embleton? Or are we financing this?
Councillor, Mayor, We're in a negative balance on our DC reserve for community centers, which includes Embleton. So overall, we are negative, and we need future DCs to pay for that.
And so even though the DCs has not been collected, thank you, Nash, even though the DCs has not been collected, the city views this as such a critical project to the quality of life in this area that we are still proceeding, even with this provincial change that doesn't allow us to collect development charges for 3 years. And so any notion that the local councillors weren't robust in this advocacy, I say robust is an understatement, is incorrect, and that I can't wait to see this community center built as quickly as possible. And just for a rough estimate, and obviously trades, inflationary pressures, I know there's always, who knows what when you dig, you find something, but what's your best estimate to our Commissioner of Public Works or Community Services? What is the plan? When was this rec center going to be opened?
Through the chair to Mayor Brown, as you mentioned, we're conducting the groundbreaking and some pre-construction activities immediately. Major construction activities will commence in the spring, early spring, and within approximately 30 months, we expect the community center to be completed.
Amazing. Does that satisfy your concern?
Thanks, Mayor, for responding to the concern. I have few questions on my side. Just wanted to let you know the problems we are facing here. Today in our meeting, there were two gentlemen, two delegations. They are talking about fitness. They were talking about safety. And, without this community center, how the kids are engaged, where they are going, what is happening. So this is very important for us. This is like, we cannot live without this right now. This is not any luxury for us. This is just our basic amenities which city should have provided. And you talked about the development charges, Mayor. I actually went to the website hosted by the Brampton City portal. They have a bylaws about the development charges, and it clearly mentions the fees collected from the construction of new homes, which we have paid, is specifically to build libraries, parks, recreation facilities. If that money is not enough, then I see the city's leadership failure to plan, budget, and prioritize our projects which are needed for the citizens of the city.
Thank you for that follow-up. But just to say, the province recently changed when development charges are collected. So this project, development charges have not been collected for. The city is so committed to it. We're financing it for a future date when development charges are collected. The province changed the process from building permit to occupancy permit. And so this it put the city in a difficult position, but don't worry. This council unanimously decided, even without development charges available to us at this moment, to proceed. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the delegation. Sorry, Mr. Panda. Thank you very much for the delegation motion, I guess, from Councillor Pelletier to receive the delegation. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That motion carries. The next item for delegation is 6.9. Delegation from Nadia Guerra, consultant, as well as Antonio Paredes, CEO DNG Group, regarding smart crossing LEDs and school zone traffic calming measures utilizing Safety Initiative Fund. Thank you for joining us today. This is also in conjunction with Public Works Report 10.2.7, as well as the ASC report on the agenda as well. We will bring those reports forward at that time for the delegation as well. You have up to 5 minutes.
Thank you so much, Mayor, Council, and staff for having us here today. I'm Nadia, this is Antonio, and we're here on behalf of Smart Crossing LED, which is a division of DNG Group, a Canadian-owned and women-led company specializing in modern roadway safety solutions. Today, we're introducing an innovative approach that uses in-ground LED lighting to dramatically improve the visibility and safety of school zones. Our goal is simple: to create school zone warnings that drivers cannot miss, even in the busiest road environments. We'll walk you through why this solution is needed now, how it aligns with the Provincial Road Safety Initiative Fund, or RSIF, program, and how Brampton can lead the province in adopting next generation school zone safety infrastructure. Next slide, please. Why in-ground lighting works. Drivers respond faster to visual cues that are built directly into the roadway. Unlike overhead signs and roadside flashers, which often blend into visual clutter, in-ground systems are unavoidable because they sit in the driver's line of sight. Studies and real-world deployments show two consistent results: reduced travel speeds in school zones and improved driver attentiveness, especially in areas with heavy traffic, competing signage, or low light. If we want drivers to clearly understand that they're entering a protected space, the roadway itself needs to communicate that message. Next slide, please. So here's a visual of what it could look like. You have these horizontal dashes that go across, signage that says you're entering the gateway, and then if you could, next slide, please. Or you could do these vertical dashes that also go across. Thank you very much. Next slide. And you can see it shows when you're exiting the zone. Thank you. Next slide, please. So why does this matter now? Ontario's ban on automated speed enforcement has created a gap in how school zone compliance is reinforced. Without automated speed enforcement, municipalities need infrastructure that makes school zones visibly distinct, prompts an immediate slowdown, and works without issuing fines. The province anticipated this transition, and the new Road Safety Initiative Fund is designed specifically to support modern engineering solutions that improve safety without relying on enforcement. Next slide, please. So let's talk a little bit about the RSIF, which is basically offering $42 million in in immediate funding to be available to municipalities transitioning away from automated safety speed enforcement. An additional $168 million will become available through an extension program in 2026. So with its existing investments and ongoing Vision Zero commitments, we see Brampton as being strongly positioned to secure funding from both envelopes by pursuing shovel-ready, high-visibility projects like this one. Next slide, please. So how does the system work? Our system uses high durability LED strips embedded directly into the roadway, extending from curb to form a bright illuminated threshold. And some of these key features include activation on a schedule or synchronized with existing beacons, full functionality in daylight, darkness, rain, snow, and high traffic environments, which is, as I said before, creating a visual gateway that instantly alerts drivers that they're entering a protected school zone. Okay, thank you. Could you switch the slides, please? What are some of the benefits to the city? Solution is engineered specifically for Canadian conditions, so it can withstand winter, snow plows, heavy traffic, salt. It's low maintenance and available in solar and low voltage configurations. It meets the RSIF priority. It's ready for immediate funding and deployment. And we can do it on weekdays weekends or evenings to avoid impact on school areas. If you could switch the slide. So we would recommend, if you were to be interested in this, to roll it out in a pilot, maybe 1 or 2 school zones per ward, based on risk and in pedestrian areas with high use. Submit the request for the funding, finalize the site selection, pricing, and procurement, and then begin installation in early 2026. If you could switch the slide. I think our conclusions are there, and we have 5 seconds left, so thank you, and we're happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much to the delegation, and I do have questions on the board. Just a reminder to committee colleagues, the 2 reports, Report 10.2.7 and 12.2.4 will be coming forward in addition to this delegation here. Questions for the delegation, Councillor Vicente, followed by Councillor Medeiros.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thank you, Nadia, for your delegation. Good timing. This happens to be a topic that is very much top of mind for us here and actually all municipalities across the province, recognizing that with ASC being scrapped, there may be other opportunities for us to seek funding from the province and implement solutions such as yours. I know there are other speakers on the board, but I think what I would like to do, notwithstanding any comments from members, is refer your delegation to staff for them to consider what opportunities there may be for us to work together. And I think I will leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Councilor Vicente. Councilor Medeiros.
Thank you through you, Madam Chair. Nice to see you, Nadia.
Nice
Thank you
to
for
see you.
coming forward. And it was a nice surprise when I saw your name on the agenda, and I was like, is it the same one that I know? And so that's great. Yeah, thank you. Very timely. I think Councilor Vicente, not to, that was my question, if you had the opportunity to meet with staff. And just out of curiosity, do you have municipalities who are currently using this, for lack of a better term, this process or this technology of LED? Do you have any sort of case examples that you can provide us?
Go ahead and
Not in North America. Our system is being used for safe crosswalks all over Europe, Asia, South America, Qatar, that have been used. It's using for specific for like making smart crosswalks, safer crosswalks, and we adopt the idea to create those entrance gates, visible entrance gates for the safety school zones.
So through you, Madam Chair, are you guys a Canadian company or is it a foreign company?
Yeah, Canadian company and women-led.
Okay.
And what we're trying to do here is take technology that we know works and adapting it to the moment to be able to address school zone safety.
Excellent. Yeah, and I agree with Councilor Vicente. I wanted to also move it to staff for further dialogue and consideration of the technology, and who knows, something that we'll look at it forward. Thank you very much for coming. It's very timely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. So I think this is great because it's a Canadian company. Check number one. Women-led. Check number two. So as Vice Chair of Economic Development, I'm happy to support the referral to staff for consideration as we take a look at the different options in dealing with some of our school safety zones in a very quick way, because we don't have much time to deal with it as mandated by the province. So happy to support the referral. However, at this time, I do want to bring forward the two reports, 10.2.7 and 12.2.4, both the Public Works report, but also the Legislative Service report on this matter of automated speed enforcement. So there is a referral motion for this delegation to be referred. I don't think there are any questions at this time regarding the delegation. Let's just bring those reports forward now.
Thank you very much, and
Thank
thanks
you.
for having us.
Do any members of committee have any questions regarding the ASC report, 10.2.7, 12.2.4? Councilor, okay. I have questions. Anyone else have questions? Councilor Paletti, do you have questions on this before the chair speaks? The reports on traffic calming and ASC. Councilor Paletti first before the chair.
And you've put both reports together. We're talking about
Yes.
we're talking specifically about the signs, sign installation in the budget amendment?
Yes,
Okay,
indeed.
perfect.
And if we could bring the sign in, just so members of committee can see the signs that are referred to in the report, 10.2.7, the specs of the sign that the provincial government is asking municipalities to implement in our school zones.
My turn? Yes. Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. So I really wanted to, I think it was 1.3 million in going through the report. What I'd like to do is ask staff to look at how many schools are right across the city. And then I want to start putting together some kind of budget around what the Premier's comments were around roundabouts, signs, and speed bumps. And so I want some kind of budget to say there's going to be a roundabout in front of every school. There's going to be X number of speed bumps in front of every school. There's going to be signs. I want to know true costs. Plus, I'm not supporting paying for anything until the province puts money in the account. So if there's, I assume that there hasn't been any kind of financial agreement as of yet. Is that correct? No
Thank you,
financial
Pleasure.
agreement in terms, there's been no financial agreement, correct?
Through the chair to Councillor Paleshi, to my knowledge, there have been no financial agreement executed as of yet.
Okay, so I'm not gonna support, any amending any budget until we actually have some kind of agreement from the province to, you know, to recoup some of the money that's going to be put in towards, safety, especially for the, you know, for the kids. I'll go back and just say I love the delegation and that's a fantastic idea. But also other opportunities that are out there. So a lot of work has to be done, but we need to look at there's so many X number of schools in the city of Brampton and, you know, let's start somewhere. Peter, you have comments?
Through the chair to Councillor Paleshi, the province did send a letter to the city of Brampton providing immediate funding or notice of immediate funding being available in the amount of $6.997 million. In terms of next steps, the city's treasurer is going to sign back that acknowledgement letter, and then at that point, that funding will be available to the city. So this budget amendment before us requests that once, to your point, once that money is actually provided by the province, that we use that money to establish the fund, to bring on the resources, including people, to be able to do the traffic studies and be able to plan out what the 2-year plan is going to be with respect to installing traffic safety initiatives across the city.
So that's what that money's for. The money's for is to do all the work, to find out actually how much it's all going to cost.
Correct. And the amount that we're asking for in the report through the budget amendment is really only a starter in terms of what we feel we need to hire the initial tranche of people to get started on developing the types of plans that you're discussing.
Okay, so like I don't see an immediate need for the 1.3 to put up these signs. These signs aren't going to do anything. We know what works, and they took that ability away from us. But I see there's major problems with these signs. Just thinking about 2-3 schools that are in my area, there's no way they won't be able to go anywhere. They're a sightline restriction, so they're major problems for me and some of the school zones that I just thinking about, especially the schools that I went to. So great, they gave us 6.9 million. We're going to spend that in getting all of what it's actually truly going to cost. So which is good. We'll take that money. Perfect. Thanks, Madam Chair. Oh, just with Madam Chair, you wanted to talk a little bit. You had a motion with respect to the stop arm cameras. So stop arm cameras is something I worked on back in 2015. We started at the region, and then it came 2018. Members will remember us working on that throughout that process. A lot of work had been done. What I'd like to do is just ask staff to refer any motion back to staff to come back with all of the work that had been done, the support, and it was unanimous support amongst council to have some kind of program. But what we're not going to like is the fact that there's a big dollar amount for the buses to be outfitted with that technology, and something that the bus companies, Bus Patrol, is definitely not going to want to fund. But I always said that if the region appeal didn't want to do it, and mainly I think it was all Brampton supported at the region. We didn't have Mississauga support, but we had Caledon support too, which it eventually unfortunately died there. There's opportunities for Brampton to ensure the safety of the children getting in and off the bus. Timely, because I just passed a bus today that I looked in my rearview mirror and the stop arm was out, and people were passing the stop arm, which is, it's that devastation that could occur. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Paleshi. Before I go to Mayor Brown, just want to summarize for the clerk for clarification on Councillor Paleshi's comment. So I believe, Councillor Paleshi, you want to make an amendment to the recommendations in the report regarding the $1.whatever million in addition, $1.5 million that the city has to find money for in order to implement these traffic calming measures from the province? Is that what you're asking for? Go ahead, Councillor Pelletier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sorry, excuse me, I thought I said 1.3 and it's 1.5 there. What I'm saying is of that 6.9, we can use the 1.5 of the 6.9 and then use the rest of the money for getting in deeper into what this truly is going to cost and then send the province the bill.
Okay. So we're accepting the money, using some of that money to look at the implementation costs, not taking out of our city funds. Does that work with staff, just for clarification?
Through the chair to Councillor Santos, absolutely works. That's the intention of the recommendation, to set up a project initially in the amount of $1.5 million that will come from the funding that the province provides to the city.
Okay, that is clarified, so there are no amendments to the recommendations in the report. That was just for clarification. The second piece that Councillor Pelletier had asked for is for, in addition to the traffic calming measures in the report being tabled, for staff to come back with a report to summarize all the work that has been done in the past regarding the stop bar and the school buses. The school buses in my area, Ward 1 and 5, are also a problem. So is that clear, staff to report back with a summary of all measures taken regarding, or action taken regarding the stop bar and the school buses?
Thank you. Through the chair, that's clear.
Okay, perfect. Mayor Brown, back to you.
Clarity to this. First of all, I say you can't go backwards, you can only go forwards. And obviously we made our advocacy to keep speed cameras as a life-saving initiative. And in terms of cost, it was once suggested you could just have full-time police do the speed enforcement. The cost of that was extraordinary. We presented that to the province as something that was simply not financially feasible in any world. You think Project 300 was costly? To do this would have been an even greater expense just for one city. And so the cost of signage for every school zone or roundabouts, we know those costs are prohibitive and the comments were not rooted in financial reality. Having said that, the province passed their bill. So we move forward to where we are today. And I would say right now we're having very collaborative conversations with the minister's office and the ministry on how we go forward. I would note the letter that we received last week, that $6.9 million. Part of the requirement of accepting the money is putting these signs up. And so we certainly don't want to turn down the $6+ million. There are two buckets. There's the first bucket to get you started, which is the $6 million. Then there's another fund that we can apply for any other good ideas we have. And so I also understand is they're not actually going to make us put these up in every school zone. Because Councillor Santos and Pelletier are right that there may be some school zones where this actually damages the line of sight. We're looking at, I don't know what the number is it 30 out of the 175? It's a small number where it may work. 30 is the correct roundabout number. What they're also saying yes to right now is the decibel reading capacity that we can issue tickets for, the red light cameras that we can issue tickets for, and the police, and having it feed into police investigations. And so right now we're getting a lot of cooperation. I know before when we tried to shift their position on this, it was a dead wall. But I think right now things are going positively. I believe Brampton received maybe the most on the first allocation of any city. I think it's either Brampton or Toronto. And so I believe that the speed calming initiatives we want to do going forward are going to have the required legislative support and in the regulations that would allow us, believe it or not, we need provincial permission to do decibel readings. We need permission to do red light cameras and processing. And so we're getting all those yeses right now. And so I wouldn't want to jeopardize that by saying we're not going to put those 30 signs up and say we're not going to take that $6 million. What is the cost of the 30 signs for us to put up? Rough idea. Peter, give me a rough idea what it costs to put 30 signs.
Through the chair to Mayor Brown, I would say tens of thousands of dollars at least, just given the size of the sign and the requirements with respect to
each or total?
It's total.
total. So say if it tens of thousands of dollars, so it's $30,000 to put up these signs, and we get 6.9 million, we'd be foolish not to accept the 6.9 million if this is one of the conditions. Let's go forward. Let's make the best of this situation. It's not what we wanted, but let's make the best of it. That's my advice to council.
Deputy Mayor Singh.
Thank you. And my concern is around capacity because, and we've talked about this, Kevin, as well, so I want to bring this on the public record. Your office has been doing a good job of the current speed measures you're putting in. But when you remove 185 cameras, the expectation from residents is going to be, you know, what are the speed measures we're putting into the school zones in 185 areas? And the capacity to fulfill those demands, can you talk a little bit about that, what we expect from a capacity standpoint and how long of a rollout it would be to address those 185 spots?
Through the chair to the deputy mayor, with the current staff resources, we've been knocking off about 50 locations a year with speed cushions. Speed cushions are relatively simple traffic calming measure as opposed to some of the other measures mentioned like roundabouts or modifying curbs, bump outs and stuff like that. So
basically it'd be fair to say this is basically 3.5 years of work if we put a pause on everything else and just address these 185 locations.
Through the chair to the deputy mayor, that'd be correct, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and we have a backlog. So that's my concern around the capacity. So whether that's a budget question of increasing capacity to address those 105 areas, we do have the funding coming in, whether that's a staffing question, or whether that's, and I've said it to you, so I'm gonna say it in public, whether that's a third party doing this, because our residents, it would have been one thing if they were anticipating speed measures, but it's one thing that they had cameras, so they had some speed measures there. Now we're taking it away, and for them now to wait 3 years, potentially, to see that addressed again, that's a major concern as well. So I think now that we have funding, how we allocate that funding to get the fastest rollout is my concern, and I think Councillor's concern as well. So I want you to take that back when you report back of how we can address these sites quickly and efficiently as possible, given that we do have this funding, whether that's, and I'm looking at the budget office, whether that's a staffing thing, or we honestly look at a third party to address this in a timely fashion.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Singh. And if you could look at the recommendation on the screen just to make sure that it covers what you have just requested. And then in the meantime, if there are no further questions from members of committee, I have a couple of questions myself. So with respect to the traffic calming measures, such as the sign that you've brought to show how big they are, they don't, that sign that you have there, I believe it doesn't include the beacons that they want to put on the side of the signs themselves. So, okay, so yeah, so the sign is even bigger when you put the beacons on. Who pays for the maintenance of the signs and the speed cushions, the maintenance of the when the signs are vandalized? And given how large they are there concerns with respect to wind or snow removal when these signs are installed?
Yes, through the chair, you're absolutely correct that, the signs, there are some concerns with the size of the signs, but as the mayor mentioned, the MTO is working with us and they're being flexible. So some of the locations that cannot accommodate the signs that cause sightline issues that don't fit in the boulevard, they will be flexible and allow us to install a normal size sign.
Okay, thank you. And then in terms of when the signs are vandalized or removed from the ground because of the wind, or the sign because of the wind hits a car or a person or a house, who is liable when that happens to that large sign?
Yes, through the chair, yes, we are responsible, although the MTO is paying upfront for all the installation, original installation and labor, we will be responsible for all the maintenance costs afterwards if signs and the solar panels and the beacons need to be replaced.
And so if we are responsible for that, is the provincial government, through this new fund for traffic calming measures, will they be giving us ongoing funding to pay for the ongoing operating costs, maintenance costs of the signage, as well as the ongoing maintenance costs, operating costs for the additional speed bumps that they want implemented in place of speed cameras?
Through the chair, no.
So there is no funding right now being issued by the province for annual costs to these traffic calming measures.
Through the chair, no.
Where will those operating costs end up being paid for, or who's paying for those ongoing operating costs?
Through the chair, there'll have to be a request through my team to for additional operating budget for that.
So there will be additional operating costs pressures on the property tax bill by implementing many of these speed calming measures in place of speed cameras that actually paid for themselves. Okay. The final thing that I just wanted to share, so Deputy Mayor Singh, if you can make sure everything's covered in the motion, including maybe we need to put in there staff to report back on annual operating costs in order to maintain some of this additional signage on the city, just an approximate, just so we know what is coming to us to maintain these large signs and new traffic calming measures.
Yeah, through the chair, some of that is outlined in the report as well.
Perfect.
The replacement costs.
Thank you. And then because report 12.2.4, which is the legislative services component of this issue, is on the agenda, I did ask staff to share the latest data on the impact of the speed cameras now being turned off and whether or not we have seen a change of behavior. So just for my colleagues and all of the folks from the provincial government perhaps watching council today, if you could just put that chart up to show the data of before the cameras were on and then now that the cameras are off. And I have Michael Krault joining us as well to provide some information on that.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor. I don't know if you can, to the clerk, I don't know if you can zoom in on that at all. So essentially, what we're noticing, and again, it's only been a couple of weeks since we've stopped enforcing automated speed enforcement infractions. However, we were typically averaging about 30,000 what are called incidents per week. This is the number of incidents of vehicles exceeding the speed threshold that we had established that we would process and either issue tickets to or not. And that number has jumped quite significantly in the weeks following. Understanding, again, it's a very small sample size and we will be collecting this data on an ongoing basis, but it's essentially double from what it was prior to the cameras being online.
Okay, thank you, Michael, for providing that update. Deputy Mayor Singh.
Yep, I did talk to Commissioner Peter, and he did indicate my concerns will be addressed in the report. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, Michael. Thank you to Public Works staff, Legislative Service staff for that report. Thank you to our delegation. Madam Clerk, if you don't mind putting the final recommendation back on the screen. Councillor Bry, I saw you were on the board. No more questions?
Chair, you did ask the questions I was going to ask. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So we have here the motion, but I think we also need to refer the delegation back to staff as well, if we can. 2 motions? Okay, sure. So amended. Yeah. Okay, so the first motion is to refer the delegation 6.9 to staff for consideration, moved by Councillor Vicente. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That carries. The next motion is in regards to the report 10.2.7 and amended according to what Councillor Paleshi had asked for regarding the school buses. Moved by Councillor myself. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? That carries. And then the final motion is on report number 12.2.4. I don't believe there were any. Yeah, just to receive. Moved by Councillor Power. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That carries. All right, that takes off 6.9, 10.2.7, and 12.2.4 off our agenda. Thank you very much to the delegation and staff on those items. Next delegation, 6.10, delegation from Vanessa Kahn, Director, High Life Helping Hands, 6th Annual Toy Drive for CP24 Chum Christmas Wish donation boxes at City Hall. Welcome, Vanessa. There's Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa. You have up to 5 minutes for your delegation. Thank you very much.
Great. Good morning, Madam Chairman, Mayor Brown, and councillors. My name is Rafi Nakvi. This is Vanessa, and we represent High Life Promos and High Life Helping Hands. I'll let Vanessa tell you more about our organization.
Thank you so much. High Life Helping Hands, what we do is we work with communities to raise funds or to donate to causes that are close to heart. This is our 6th annual toy drive, and our request is to place boxes into City Hall so that we can get more awareness and increase the toys that we can actually donate to the kids. All of our donations are to CP24 Chum Christmas Wish, and currently we have 29 locations within the GTA. We did start in Brampton 6 years ago, and we currently have the majority of our boxes are placed in the city of Brampton. We have 18 locations, businesses as well as restaurants, and we feel that we can get more awareness by coming into the City Hall itself. Last year we donated 1,500 toys to CP24 Chum Christmas Wish, and we're hoping to increase that as much as we can. So any support that we can get in terms of getting those boxes in, we greatly appreciate it. Our mission is basically just to bring communities together. We belong to the Caribbean community, and we are expanding that, and we're trying very hard to bring the communities together to help those in need. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that's fine.
Thank you so much, your delegation, and letting us know about this incredible cause. We appreciate it very much. Do any members have questions? Seeing none, motion to receive the delegation from Councillor Brar. All in favor? Anyone opposed? The motion carries. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. The next delegation is from Arjun Waraj, Daniel Ganjali, Emerson Nee, and Justin Rui. Team Jade from BramHacks 2025, the winners of BramHacks 2025, which was an incredibly successful BramHacks with over 500 registrations and over 350 people on that last day of competition, and over 50 teams of young people and their innovative solutions. So welcome to the winning team. We can't wait to see why you won. And this year was a very special theme on space, a space theme. All right, over to you guys. 5 minutes.
Good morning, members of council, Madam Chair and Mayor. Thank you for the opportunity for us to speak today. I'm Justin. I'm Arjun. I'm Daniel. I'm Emerson. And together, we're Jade. We are 4 16-year-old high schooler students who are from the University of Toronto schools, and today we're excited to present Heimdall, our project to protect and preserve satellite services that our communities rely on every single day. So we created Heimdall for BramHacks 2025, Brampton's largest hackathon, where we won first place and the grand prize of $5,000. We wanted to say that initiatives like BramHacks truly help, or enable the opportunities for youth to demonstrate their ability to create really impactful projects, develop the necessary technical and transferable skills needed for life, and additionally also help advance technologies within our localities as well. And so on the behalf of Jade, we'd like to thank the City of Brampton for sponsoring such incredible opportunities.
Now, I want you all to think about the weather app you used this morning, or the GPS that guided you here, or even a call to a loved one. What do these all have in common? They depend on satellites. In fact, there are over 11.5 thousand satellites orbiting Earth, supporting vital services like internet, emergency services, aviation, and climate monitoring. Our communities depend on these satellites, but they're extremely fragile. In fact, nearly 1 in 8 fail every year. And the problem is simple. Satellites can't be repaired in orbit, and when one fails, it's lost, costing tens of millions, disrupting critical services, and contributing to space debris. Globally, about 3,600 of the 17,000 satellites launched are now defunct. Every failure weakens our communities. Our project Heimdall aims to change that.
So Heimdall is an AI-powered robotic satellite repair servicing system. So first we use AI to actually model degradation and predict failures within those satellites before they happen. Around 30% of those failures that Justin mentioned actually derive from lithium-ion battery degradation themselves. So we used official NASA data along with advanced machine learning architectures such as an LSTM and GBM network in order to improve our accuracy and predictions for a metric called RUL, which is the remaining useful lifetime of these modular components, which we achieved around an 80% accuracy of, which is 10% above the traditional standard.
Once a failing satellite is actually identified, Heimdall autonomously navigates towards it. Using professional simulation software, we modeled orbital physics and a cold gas RCS thruster matrix, allowing us to safely approach and dock with a satellite. After docking, a teleoperated robotic arm, like the one here, with modular end effector tools, would actually perform the servicing, which allows us to, such as battery replacement, which allows us to extend satellite lifetime significantly. So I can give a quick demo of this. So right now, this robotic arm that we actually built for BramHacks, I can control it from my laptop, which is something that would be done from here on Earth. And then this would actually be on the satellite, and it would be able to perform repairs.
Heimdall keeps satellites working longer, keeping communities connected and safe. It supports vital services like weather forecasting, navigation, and emergency response. It also reduces space debris by repairing instead of replacing entire satellites. This means a more sustainable and resilient future for Brampton and beyond. Next slide, please. We're presenting Heimdall to highlight the power of youth innovation here in Brampton. With local space companies like MDA and Canon Canada, there's a real opportunity to engage more young people in this growing industry.
What set BramHacks apart from other hackathons for us personally was how deeply connected it was to the city of Brampton. The space theme really reflected on the important work that's happening right here, and it pushed us to focus on community impact throughout development. One of our favorite parts of BramHacks was actually the mentorship and the opportunity to network with industry professionals, which pushed us to apply our robotics, engineering, and problem-solving skills to create a solution that was innovative and still practical.
We asked the city to continue supporting initiatives that connect youth to space technology and STEM, like BramHacks. And we believe that Brampton has the momentum to inspire the next generation of technological and space leaders. And we're grateful to be part of that story. Thank you again for your time, and we would love to get a photo with you to remember this chapter. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your delegation. Congratulations again on being the winners for BramHacks 2025. You really make many of us in this room feel less smart. I got to tell you, at that event that I was at, the BramHacks event, the amount of brain talent, presentation skills, marketing skills, robotic skills, engineering skills at such a young age. We are so proud of all of you, and you certainly give us bright hopes for the future in terms of the talent, innovation, and creativity in the city of Brampton. That being said, they have requested a photo, so I know our city photographer is here. We would be happy to take a photo, as long as you bring your robot with you. All right, motion from Councillor Power to receive the delegation. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That carries. We will now quickly take our photo with the winning team. All right. Next delegation is 6.12, delegation from Moaz Ahmed, Chief Community Officer from Scooty, regarding item 10.2.4, the staff report on Downtown Transit Hub project. And Moaz, welcome. Thanks for coming in today. And I love, this project is so important in the area I represent, so thank you for coming to delegate. Okay, Moaz, you have up to, are we all set?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
up to
thank
5
you.
minutes. Thanks, Moaz.
Okay, thank you, and good morning to the committee, to staff, and to the audience here. I appreciate having the time to speak about this topic. If we can go to the next slide quickly. So just a quick bit of background. This is actually not a slide, it's a photo of, or a screenshot of a slide I did from another presentation talking about how Scooty has been working with the city of Brampton. And essentially what we've been trying to do is make suburban micromobility a thing. And we've successfully made suburban micromobility a thing since 2019. We appreciate the support of the city of Brampton in making that happen. And in that process, the city of Brampton has become essentially a leader in a growing field in transportation. Staff like Fernanda Duarte Peixoto Suarez has been a lead researcher with the Transportation Association of Canada, and Sarah Cullen, who was a student in the transportation planning team, received a sustainability award for the best major research project. She's unfortunately not with the team anymore. She moved on to Metrolinx, but it's a great example of how we've been working together and building capacity over the past 5 years. A big part of what we've been trying to be doing here is aligning transportation, micromobility and transportation together. If you can go to the next slide. Or next slide. Okay, thank you. Sorry, the previous slide, if you don't mind. So a big part of this is promoting transit-oriented communities, especially Brampton's Urban Growth Center, which is, again, this is an old slide that I've just reproduced because it just talks about the importance of this development and this planning process and how transit-oriented communities are the future of Brampton. On the next slide, we will see, some examples of what Scooty has been able to do by connecting micromobility to downtown Brampton's Innovation Center and the Brampton GO Station. On the next slide. Micromobility transit integration is essentially what we've been doing, and we've been doing it successfully, and this is following the city of Brampton's 2040 vision for Brampton to become a mosaic of characterful and color-complete neighborhoods, as well as a mosaic of safe, integrated transportation choices and new modes, contributing to civic sustainability and emphasizing walking, cycling, and transit. This is what we're doing on the left. This is what could be done on the right from your own vision document. On the next slide, this is, again, just further information from the Brampton 2040 vision, including the priorities that the city is following for 2040. Okay, on the next slide. I just want to show you some quick data from what 3 years of micromobility connected to transit looks like. You can see the 3 GO stations labeled. I've also labeled Sheridan College just as a reference point. This is essentially, you can see large spikes of people connecting to and from transit, as well as transit terminals across the city of Brampton, including Trinity Common, Heart Lake, Gore Meadows Community Center, and others. And what we've seen basically is that people are using transit and micromobility together in the city of Brampton. We've proved that this is working. We've connected to 2,400 transit stops in the city of Brampton, and we're about to begin a very, very exciting process of Presto integration and other technological advances in micromobility that we're going to be hopefully demonstrating in the city of Brampton. So why am I here? Because of the Brampton Transit, Downtown Brampton Transit Hub. And on the next slide, just a simple request. We see that the Brampton Transit Hub is really being designed for a great transit experience, and we appreciate that, but we see that there's more value and future value in adding more space for active transportation. That includes bikes and shared micromobility. Micromobility program is a pilot, but as it moves forward, we want to be able to have that flexibility built in now so that as the program moves forward, we have that infrastructure integrated into the Brampton Transit Hub. Similarly, space for shared repair services like the Brampton Bike Hub, it's already downtown, so it makes sense to have the Brampton Bike Hub stay downtown and be part of this downtown transit hub. And then also future proofing for future population and employment growth in the Brampton Growth Center, as well as, new forms of mobility. We're talking about micromobility here, but there are other forms of micromobility such as low-speed vehicles and others that are becoming part of the mix and will be part of the mix when this transit center is built. And we need to build this for the next 50 and 100 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Moaz. I have Councillor Majeros on board.
Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. Thank you for the presentation. It was interesting, those last couple suggestions, because I think when this, from the onset, was presented to us, and certainly I supported it as looking at as a, micromobility, trying to improve our public transit. What have, I've seen the, from what I'm seeing, some of your suggestions, I always question the space. That was always something we always heard about, the space to navigate in the downtown, and also regarding the safety, because I know that there was pedestrians, organizations that were concerned, people with disabilities and so on. Maybe you can elaborate on what has been sort of the experience, and some of the challenges we knew, but I think it's important that you sort of pointed out the design features, especially as we're building a lot of density and getting the LRT and so on. So there's a lot of opportunity for us to now plan and look forward. But I know there's a lot, it's a loaded question, but so one would be, some of those frustrations that you shared where you think there was improvement. And the second one is certainly regarding your experience regarding safety, and in terms, I don't need numbers of incidents or so on, but just in terms of what you found and what has been the experience.
Excellent question, Councillor. Thank you very much for that. To answer this properly, I just want to say a couple of things. One is that in the context of the Downtown Mobility Hub and the Transit Hub, this is an opportunity to create infrastructure, as I said, for the next 50 and 100 years. The other element of this is that when the micromobility program was piloted, you're building on existing infrastructure. You're using existing space that is found. Sometimes that space may not be adequate, sometimes it may not be appropriate. So by pre-planning and building this additional space for the use of the micromobility program and other active transportation, you are making sure that that space is carved out, but you also want to design it so that it can evolve as the program evolves. So if for some reason micromobility evolves away from the downtown, that space could be repurposed for other community spaces, as an example. Regarding the specific things that we've learned, I can only speak to myself and what I've heard from staff, and of course staff would give you more information when they bring their report forward. But our focus has always been on, as I said before in many meetings, safety, courtesy, and partnership. And safety is really critical because we are adding a service on top of existing infrastructure that was frankly not designed for this type of service. And as I have these broader conversations, in fact, tomorrow, Ontario Traffic Council is having their transportation planning symposium at Lionhead in Brampton, and they're going to be presenting the Brampton Mobility Plan. One of the things that I'm bringing across there is that the bike lane infrastructure that we designed for the past 30 years was designed for people riding human-powered bikes. And now we have these electric-powered vehicles that can go 20, 30, 50 kilometers an hour. We have to integrate them into the road mix and the mobility mix because people are using them and they're not going to stop using them. So when I see, a senior riding in an enclosed mobility scooter that supposedly only travels at 20 kilometers an hour, but could possibly travel at 40, I don't know what that looks like inside. And they're riding on one of your multi-use paths because that's the space where they're legally loopholed in that they can ride because they can't be on the road. They can't be in the bike lanes, but they can be on the path. That's a problem. And that's a problem that has to be addressed now because, frankly, the population is not going to get any younger. And if people in Brampton are conditioned to drive and drive to most of the places that they go, when they have to give up their driver's license for whatever reason, or owning a car becomes unaffordable for whatever reason, they're gonna buy these $8,000, $4,000, $5,000 mobility scooters, and they're gonna be all over the city. And it's happening in communities all across Ontario. So that to me is one of the biggest things, is that we have to design infrastructure to plan for how things are gonna change. And things are gonna change a lot faster than we're prepared for.
Yeah, thank you. And I think through you, Madam Chair, that's kind of the message, is that your success really would depend on how we're willing to invest in that infrastructure to make that mobility, that sort of the e-scooters to be more successful and more safer in our community.
Sure, and I'm thinking about what happens over the next few years, but in the long term, this is all about what are we investing in for the city of Brampton, because we're building a downtown transit hub, we're building an urban growth center, we're building an innovation district, we're building new ways for people to get around. And frankly, I don't know what 50 years from now is gonna look like. I don't know what e-scooters are gonna look like in 50 years, or if they'll even be a technology. Gas-powered personal scooters used to exist in 1910, and then they disappeared. You know, I've got a picture of a lady, you know, with a prim and proper dress standing on a gas-powered standing e-scooter, you know, and I shared that with people in the past. I believe I shared it with this committee or council in the past. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but what I am saying is that staff should be encouraged to prepare for that future, and that flexibility should be built in to the transit hub and other infrastructure that you build downtown. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Majeros. Thank you, Moaz. I'll probably bring up report 10.2.4 as it relates to this delegation regarding the downtown transit hub project update. Do any members have any questions regarding that report, since we're bringing it up now? Do any other members have, Councilor Vicente?
Madam Chair, are you bringing the report forward?
All right, so moving the report forward, however, I do think, Councilor Majeros, it might be, based on the comments, appropriate to refer the delegation to staff for consideration as well. Yep, so referral of the delegation to staff with respect to the downtown transit hub redevelopment project, as well as receiving the report, moved by Councilor Vicente. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Thank you very much. The delegation has been referred and the report has been received. That concludes our delegation for now, all the delegations for today, which was quite a lot, actually. I just want members of committee to know that there is a flag raising scheduled for 12 noon regarding the Women Abuse Prevention Month, which members of council I know want to attend. And I believe there are no items in economic development. So we are now going to move it to corporate services. There is, I think, only one item there. And I believe we're going to break for lunch for a long duration until 12:45 to accommodate the flag raising, okay? Over to Councillor Brar.
Thank you, Councillor Santos. Now moving on to our corporate services section at 9.2.5, staff report regarding the 2025 third quarter operating budget forecast, which was held by Councillor Maderas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Question is, I guess, a couple of questions to staff. So thank you for the report. So looking at the deficit that we're going on to, and basically from the rationale provided, the project deficit is primarily driven by the impacts of federal immigration policy, et cetera, et cetera. So essentially transit ridership and planning revenues. And I guess my question is going to be, one of the questions is, I assume this would only get, I guess, as we proceed, and this will certainly be consideration during our budget, because you think this is an issue, or these are issues that are not going to get better, and they're actually going to get worse over time. So maybe you can speak to then how this will inform our upcoming budget, because our ridership isn't going to improve if this is the trend, and we know our planning revenues, we're looking at another deep year. So maybe some of those comments.
Through the chair, thank you, Councilor Maderos. We've been working exactly on this for the last few months. We're developing a report to council targeting December 10th to look at how we can mitigate the 2026 shortfall. We know that we have to deal with 25, but really the concern is the sustainability of continued deficits. So we're looking at about a $2.8 million deficit a month, which is about $34 million for the year. So that's not sustainable. So the 26 budget, we have been working on scenarios to eliminate that $34 million. There will be decisions that council will be apprised of or deciding on shortly.
Yeah, and thank you very much for that. And it's good to know that we are planning in terms of sort of our response. So we put in a hiring freeze, and so I understand that, and I think, you know, that's going to be more for budget discussion, especially as some of our services, and again, I don't want to get into you know, further discussion regarding job loss or any of that stuff, but certainly hiring freeze with an aggravated issue. These are some policy choices or some directions we're going to have to discuss. But when I see, for example, as part of the other strategy, so one is hiring freeze, and those would be you know, positions that haven't been filled, and you found the savings there. The other one, aligning services to current demand levels to ensure efficient and cost delivery. So in my mind, that tells me there are services that are not so efficient, so they might be on the chopping block. And I guess my question to that is, that's going to be sort of policy options, understanding that the mayor's has that responsibility. I guess when it's presented to us in the budget, they will be, for example, more descriptive what services we're looking at.
Yeah, through the chair to Councilor Maderos, absolutely. So we have an initiative ongoing right now that we've been spending several months on with a consultant to identify various efficiencies through KPMG. That report with all of those options will be coming to council as part of the budget and listing out all those, and we'll be including the ones that, some of these are longer term strategies, but some of them will affect the 26 budget, so we'll be bringing that forward. In addition to that, I would say that the aligning services is part of it is efficiency, but some of it is just reacting to demand of the public. It's having services when the demand goes down and making sure that those costs are aligned.
Thank you, and I guess to Mayor Brown, if you can provide some feedback regarding that question.
Question, Councilor Maderos, and I didn't want this to wait until budget, because this is, look at the numbers, particularly in transit, a 20% decline because of the changes to international students is quite alarming. And I didn't think it was fair to simply decide how to reconcile that at budget. And so my advice is that comes back as a report in December to council to look at what are the options A, B, C, or D, and council can make that choice. I think transit affects all of us. We've been the fastest growing transit system in the country, and then all of a sudden we have this year where there's this massive change because of the federal immigration policy adjustments. And so that's a choice that will be entirely the council in December.
Yeah, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, because, and not to get into the following also mitigation strategies, but certainly there's some tough decisions coming ahead for us. So, and it's great that we've done it and that you flagged this for us, and we have the opportunity to have those difficult discussions, because I think all municipalities are grappling with that. So appreciate it, look forward to some interesting discussions coming forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Santos. We have a motion moved by Councillor, Maderos. I have a motion moved by Councillor Maderos to receive the report. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. Madam Clerk, we do have 9.3.1. Would that be in a different section? For Councillor Palashi?
Through you, Chair, we could move that to Public Works section.
Thank you. Through you. So that's the end of corporate services. Seeing no questions from any members. Madam Clerk, do we have any questions from the public online?
Through you, Chair, there are no questions online.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And so seeing that we do have a flag raising, we'll break for lunch, and that will be, we'll be back for 12:45. Thank you. 12:45. Motion to go into lunch, moved by Councillor Santos,
Recess.
Recess.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll be brief.
Members, we're back in session with Committee of Council today. I do have a hold on an item by Deputy Mayor Singh, but until he arrives in the room, we will go to 10.3.3, a discussion item added by Councillor Paleshi. Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I think that we all know, and we've maybe all sent those emails and made those phone calls. I know I've sent a ton of emails, phone calls over 10 years about the elevators. The buttons don't work. People are getting stuck in them. It's time to fix the elevators in City Hall, please. Between the doors and the card readers. And like, enough is enough. Does anybody want to speak on it, or anybody here?
For folks at home, Councillor, would you be able to just briefly describe the nature of the problem?
Yeah, the elevators in City Hall, you go in there, you can't push the buttons don't work. You try and scan your cards, card scanners only work sometimes. But the difficult thing with the elevators is you go in there, you go to scan to go on a floor, and the buttons aren't working. So then now somebody else has called for the elevator, so now that elevator's going to that person. So it's a little bit of a headache.
Very good. So we have staff here.
Yeah, please. Through the chair to Councillor Paleshi, sorry for the inconvenience. So we have seen some problems with the elevators as well. These are 36 years old elevators, and these are old, so essentially overhauls will be required. So we'll be talking to the SOGR team to ensure that, you know, this doesn't happen again. In terms of replacement, we'll continue to replace the control boards if required. And repairs wise, we have PM scheduled every month, although TSSA needs every quarter, but we are doing more than the TSSA requirements to ensure that, you know, they're working.
I'm sure we're doing the TSA requirement. Listen, I just need the buttons fixed, okay, please?
Yeah.
Sure. Through the chair to Councillor Paleshi, we'll take that back, do an assessment, and work through the budget process to address the issue.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So let it be written, so let it be done. Thank you. So with that, we'll adjourn that item, and direction has been given to staff. And so we will now go to 10.1.2, a staff presentation on intelligent transportation systems update. I'll ask staff to give the presentation. Welcome, Shane.
Thank you. Just amend my notes to say good afternoon to Mayor Brown and Council. My name is Shane Loftus. I'm the Director for Road Maintenance Operations and Fleet. And I'll be providing an update presentation on our intelligent transportation systems, including the installation of a new ATMS and AI integrations. Next slide, please. So as you know, Brampton is experiencing rapid growth, increasing pressure on the road network to maintain efficient and safe travel throughout the city. Traditional traffic systems use analog inputs and are unable to adapt to changing traffic conditions or emerging incidents. The intelligent transportation systems provide the opportunity to reduce delays, improve travel time and reliability. Excuse me. Next slide, please. In 2023 and 2024, staff initiated separate pilot programs with new detection systems with artificial intelligence components. The pilots involved detection systems at the Williams Parkway and Greymar intersection, as well as Chinguacousy and Sandalwood. One pilot focused on pedestrian and cyclist identification and initiating signal changes without having to push buttons. The other pilot focused on data collection, modal classifications, and categorizing pedestrians, cyclists, light-duty vehicles, heavy-duty vehicles, etc., and identifying potential conflicts within the intersection. Both pilots showed promise. However, the identification and categorization was hampered by weather issues, including sun glare, significant snow or rain, leading staff to not move forward with a more widespread deployment. Next slide. In 2025, staff began the implementation of a new advanced traffic management system, replacing the current obsolete system. An ATMS is like the nervous system that connects all traffic sensor inputs to the brain of the traffic signal system at the intersection, which is the traffic controller. The ATMS allows these components to communicate and use data received to allow for future adaptive decisions. The ATMS also allows real-time monitoring, the ability to make remote manual changes at the intersection in real time. The ATMS will allow all intersections within the network to be connected to a central platform, and it's expected that the installation will start at the first 16 intersections along the Hurontario Light Rail Transit Corridor, and installation will continue to expand to intersections across the city, including Williams Parkway, Sandalwood, Chinguacousy, and other major roads, concluding with the Zoom corridors. Next slide. Staff have reviewed municipalities across the GTHA as well as other municipalities within Canada to determine their level of deployment of AI and adaptive traffic signal components. Many of the systems that have been piloted have used camera detection, similar to the two pilots that we ran. However, few have deployed adaptive technologies, and they've not deployed these technologies beyond limited scope pilots. Most municipalities continue to rely on traditional detection methods, and this is in line with the review the city has done with its current initiatives. The City of Brampton continues to review emerging technologies and is looking for opportunities to improve the traffic system's safety and efficiency. Next slide. Oh, thank you. Over the next year, staff will be working with a vendor to bring on all city intersections with our new ATMS system. Once the system is online at a significant number of intersections, staff can identify priority locations to deploy new and emerging technologies at corridors such as Williams Parkway, Sandalwood, Chinguacousy, among others. The time between now and when the system is fully deployed, it will allow emerging technologies to fine-tune their outputs and become more reliable and robust. The Traffic Signals Group will be working with our colleagues in information technology to take advantage of the AI Proof of Concept program to test new AI-based traffic signal technologies. Next slide. The addition of AI into the traffic signal system will allow the implementation of detection systems that can collect, categorize, and provide opportunities to make the traffic signal safer, more efficient. In addition to better quality data, making programming decisions, the implementation of adaptive technologies will allow the traffic signal system to utilize data collected to make real-time decisions. Staff will continue to work with our colleagues in IT to include AI for traffic signals as part of the AI Proof of Concept initiative, and we will look to implement these initiatives in late 26 or 2027. Next slide. I believe that's the last. So happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much, Shane. I have questions from members of committee. Councillor Santos.
Thank you through you, Mr. Chair. I gave the team a heads up about this question, so appreciate that we're looking into AI and technology to better deal with traffic flow in Brampton. But way back when, a couple of years ago, maybe longer than that, we did ask for the renovations on Williams Parkway and the road that was being resurfaced and urban landscaping being done there to also include AI traffic lights as well to help move the traffic and the congestion on Williams Parkway. I just want to make sure that that is still underway and that we don't lose sight, because that road is, we've been talking about that one for a while.
So through the chair to Councillor Santos, as part of that recommendation in 2021, staff will be undertaking a complete review of that corridor to ensure that timing is optimized for the new traffic flow once it's been established. In addition, we will be using that corridor as one of our test pilot corridors for the AI components when they come in.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Next, Councillor Pleshy.
Thanks, Shane. Really excited for this to happen. My first thing I'm gonna say is, let's do it in 2026. Let's not wait till 2027. So whatever you can do to get it for the you said possibly Q4 2026, let's do that. Please.
I will address that
You'll
with
try.
our colleagues, yes.
Thank you very much. In terms of the other cities, you know, I don't know where those other cities are that are looking into this. And the comment here about the technology is relatively new, not from my understanding. So where have we looked to see what, you know, technologies are out there? I'm being told New York has something, and then it's huge in Europe, but if you can.
So we benchmarked cities like Toronto, Hamilton, Niagara, Kingston, and a few others. And we looked at a couple of cities in Alberta where this seems to be further along, I'll say. And all of them are pursuing similar technologies that we've already piloted. So we're somewhat in line with what's going on within Canada right now. None of the applications that have been piloted in other municipalities have gone on to kind of widespread deployment. They're contained to their pilot corridors.
Okay, so Shane, I really don't want us to look in Canada, because I think we're different than a lot of the other cities. You know, in Canada, we're a large city, so I don't necessarily want to look at what's around. I want to look at LA, I want to look at New York, and I want to look in Europe and see what else is out there.
Sorry, through the chair to Councillor Pleshy, we have looked at some technologies within the United States. When looking at Europe, we have to ensure that they're compatible with Canadian regulations. A lot of the things that we've come across are not yet passed for widespread service in Canada. But we can certainly take a look, because this is an emerging field where technologies are jumping leaps and bounds in their deployment and their capabilities. So this is something that we're going to have to continually refresh and look at as an ongoing basis.
So explain to me who the governing body is for the technology that goes into to signalization.
That is a good question. I'll have to come back to you with exact regulations on what components.
Okay, but it is regulated.
They would be.
By whom?
That I can come back to you with an answer.
Okay.
Any other questions, Councillor?
No. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Perhaps I'd recommend that maybe next week, if you could be able to answer those questions for council.
For sure.
You can bring that back to us. All right. I see no further questions. So members of committee, I'm going to ask for a motion of receipt for the presentation by Deputy Mayor Singh. All in favor? That carries. And our next item is the report itself, 10.2.2, a staff report on intelligent transportation systems update. Do any members have questions with regards to the report? I see none, so I have a motion moved by Deputy Mayor Singh to move receipt of the report. All in favor? That carries. And with that, we move down to question period. Do any members have questions? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, do we have questions from members of the public?
Through you, Chair, there are no questions online.
Very good. And so with that, we move on to the community services section for Councillor Santos.
Thanks so much, Councillor Vicente. I believe there's only one item in community services. 11.2.2 regarding the picnic tables, I believe held by Councillor Paleshi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm looking for maybe an opportunity for us to, with all of these new ones, the procurement's going out, great, there's a lot of new picnic tables coming out. Is there an opportunity where we can start, advertising the picnic tables and get maybe some sponsorships in terms of the costs of, like, they're directly impacting, they're directly mixing with community members, right? So, they're extremely well used, so maybe this is a great opportunity for us to cover the cost through advertisement.
Through the chair to Councilor Paleshi, absolutely. They're very well used. They're very high profile. So we'll speak with the sponsorship team and take that back and look for opportunities after they're purchased to have them either wrapped or covered or painted to do the advertising.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Councillor Paleshi. Great idea. Love the idea. Opportunity for even smaller businesses to, do some sponsorship opportunities as well. So is that direction, or do we need, okay, we're putting up a motion. Great. Okay, that staff be requested to investigate sponsorship opportunities in relation to the picnic tables. Great. Moved by Councillor Paleshi. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That motion carries. The next item on the agenda is Councillor question period. Do any members of council or members of committee have any questions regarding community services? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, are there any questions from the public online?
Through you, Chair, I don't see any questions online.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The next item is legislative services. I believe the only report held we dealt with ASC, so the only report held is 12.2.5, staff report regarding residential rental licensing pilot program framework update. There is a motion coming to the floor from Councillor Keenan and myself, but with respect to the report, do any members of committee have any questions with respect to the report? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, I believe there are recommendations from the report itself to begin yep, here we are. Okay. I'll have that moved by Vice Chair Councillor Paleshi. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That motion carries. And with respect to this report, Councillor Keenan and I, as well as Mayor Brown, have been working on a motion to look at also the expansion of the program citywide, and that was distributed to members of committee yesterday and the day before. And so if we could just go down to the therefore be it resolved. Okay, so this is to say that the expansion to all wards in the city of Brampton. Implementation in 2026 actually begins with wards 2 and 8 as per the report previously. And in conversations with staff, they are going to report back on the cost associated with the remaining wards, wards 6, 9, and 10. So that report will be coming back. And I believe because we are taking a phased-in approach with 2 and 8, the phased-in approach will also happen for wards 6, 9, and 10. And then also this is about provincial advocacy because of the mandated ARUs that municipalities must implement in our city. And unfortunately, to hire more fire prevention officers, building code compliance officers, bylaw officers, etc., that requires a lot more resources. And I don't know if we would have this issue if ARUs weren't being pushed into our city. And so I think there is an obligation for us to advocate to the province of Ontario for funding to support the consequences associated with more ARUs coming into Brampton. And then the City of London actually passed a motion, which in this motion, we're going to try to also explore what some of the bedroom limits would be in ARUs as per what City of London has done. They're looking at it in terms of reporting back, so staff will report back on that as well. And then finally, looking at the real estate side of things too. We have seen many folks in the real estate industry misinform those who are rebuying the homes, or in fact landlords themselves. So there's some work and education to be done on the real estate side also. So that is what the motion is about. Item number 8 is about forwarding a letter outlining our advocacy position to the province, including the motion as well as the report that was tabled today, if we could include the report today, and the RRL task force presentation that is also filed as correspondence to today's agenda. If we could include the report from today as well as that presentation from the RRL task force that was filed as correspondence as well. All right, we've got folks on the board, Councillor Medeiros, followed by Mayor Brown, and then Deputy Mayor Singh. Councillor Medeiros.
Thank you very much. And first of all, just want to recognize all the tremendous work you've done, Councillor Santos, Councillor Keenan, Mayor Brown, and everyone who's been directly or indirectly, staff included. I thought this was a real complete motion. Again, great motion, speaks to everything. The only suggestion I had, which is probably redundant, is just because of the high diversity of some of these areas, is of also identifying an investment in sort of multi-ethnic channels of communication, be it media, translation of documents, or so on, if that could be part of the mix, because I think just as important as rolling out these programs is be able to communicate with our highly diverse population. So I'll leave it to, I'm not sure if it needs to be in the actual motion, but I do think there'll probably be maybe a cost impact if we're looking at targeting, for example, top 10 languages in those wards that are being impacted. So I leave it either included in the motion or just as direction to staff, so whatever.
Yeah, thank you so much, Councillor Medeiros. Looking at Acting Commissioner Jason Tamming, he said they can take that as direction. And in the education component of the report that's being tabled today, it actually talks about education and webinars and various things for landlords. So Jason, if you could take that as direction, different languages when we broadcast the communication on this. Mayor Brown.
Councillor Santos, and glad we have this motion before us today. We really need to make sure that all housing conditions in the city meet building code and fire code. And, you know, there was some myths about RL initially. We had people at protests here earlier this year saying that they even protested City Hall, protested my residents saying this is a cash cow for the city. There is no fee for RL. This is simply saying to landlords, it's your responsibility to meet building code and fire code. It's a basic level of safety that we believe is the responsibility of the landlord. And frankly, if the city doesn't enforce building code and fire code, we could be legally negligent. And so knowing that we've had some bad actors in the city, I think this is incumbent upon us to support, and looking forward to this being passed today. I would also add, in terms of any additional budget resources, I think we'd have a better indication at budget. I don't think the staffer will have a report for December 10th, but we can certainly have that ready for budget to make sure that if there's additional fire prevention resources or bylaw that we're able to meet that requirement.
Thank you so much, Mayor Brown. I have Deputy Mayor Singh, and I see Councillor Keenan as well on the board. Deputy Mayor Singh.
Thank you, and thank you, Councillor Santos and Mayor Brown and Councillor Keenan. We've had some great conversations over the last few days. I didn't bring this up to you, but I think you'll be okay to number one. because Councilor Medeiros brings up a good point. When it comes specifically to areas that don't have it or are going to have it, just consulting with the area councillor, because I might have strategies for wards 9 and 10. So that's all I would ask, and ward 6 and 2 might have strategies. So if you accept that as a friendly, with consultation with area councillors. I've had good conversations with the director of enforcement, and so it's if it's captured in the motion, it'll be helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Swing. So you want that as in part 1, that it be expanded citywide with consultation with local councillors? If we could just add that as a friendly, that would be great. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Singh. And Councillor Keenan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I just really want to take a moment to thank all of my council colleagues for all of the ongoing conversations. Obviously, this is a great program that we've seen work in areas of the city, and I know that it'll do well across the city. And I do want to make sure that we focus on that balanced approach. I don't with the phasing in, and make sure that the phasing in to make sure that we have the proper resources available. Because I feel that once we're going section by section in the city, those areas are, getting what they need in the way of actual change. So I'm happy to see a report come back on what the phasing would look like. And again, thank you so much to staff and to bylaw and to everybody. There's actually making this a very successful program. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Keenan, and indeed a big thank you to our city team and staff, bylaw, fire, building, all of you for helping to contribute to this motion, and to members of committee as well. We did ask whether or not members of committee would all like to move this motion together. If all are good with that, I would ask the clerk to make note at the beginning that all members of committee will be moving this motion today. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? That carries. Great work, everyone. I believe that is the only item in legislative services, Madam Clerk, that was held. So questions, any members of committee have any questions regarding legislative services? Seeing none. Public questions? Any questions, Madam Clerk?
Through you, Chair, there's no questions online.
Thank you so much. That brings us to public question period for the entire agenda. Do any members of the public have any questions on any matter on the agenda today? Seeing none, that brings us now to closed session items. We do have, I believe, 4 items to discuss in closed today. Madam Clerk, we have a 15.1 response to antisocial behaviors for events in city parks, open meeting exception under section 2392B of the Municipal Act 2001, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. 15.2 William Osler Health Systems Local Share Funding Open Meeting Section under Section 2392K of the Municipal Act 2001. A position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on or on behalf of the municipality or local board. 15.3 Information update for 8 Rutherford Road South Ward 3 Open Meeting Exception under Section 2392C and K of the Municipal Act. A proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board, and a position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board. And 15.4, Madam Clerk.
Sorry, through you, Chair, 15.4 is a discussion item regarding Siemens property pursuant to the open meeting exception under 239(2)E and K of the Municipal Act. Litigation or potential litigation, and a position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I have a motion moved by Councillor Medeiros to move into closed session to deal with all the matters as we just described. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That motion carries, and we will be reporting back in open session any direction that is given in closed for public in public session. Madam Clerk, how much time would you need?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. So we will be in camera, ladies and gentlemen, at 1:23 p.m. Thank you.
Sound check.
You're coming through clear, Councillor Vicente.
Okay, thank you so much. We're back from closed session, and as we do every single time from returning from closed session, we will be reporting in open session the matters that were discussed in closed with any direction and or motions to be had here in open session. Madam Clerk, over to you to summarize.
Through you, Chair. Item 15.1 was considered and closed. Direction was given to staff, including that the following motion be considered in open session. The Council approve the adjustment to the outdoor large-scale festivals and events, and that no additional outdoor large-scale festivals or events be added on city-owned property between May to September 2026. That Council follow the option for Canada Day 2026 as adjusted event programming scope at Jacuzzi Park by eliminating all programming associated with the curling club and surrounding vicinity, and that additional information be brought forward to Council regarding further safety restrictions and protocols, and that Council direct staff to report back with a process to develop options for a purpose-built event space in Brampton, including suitable locations, design considerations, and budget implications, and that Council direct staff to explore funding opportunities through municipal accommodation tax revenues to support the development and operation of a purpose-built event space as potential revenue-generating facility for the city, and the Council reinforce this Special Events Advisory Team authority to cancel or modify events where adequate policing presence or essential safety resources cannot be secured, or where event organizers fail to meet established requirements, make necessary payments, or adhere to seat recommendations, and that Council supports seat decisions where an event cannot proceed safely or in compliance with the city requirements, ensuring a controlled, responsible, and sustainable approach.
Thanks so much, Madam Clerk. I'll have that motion moved by Councillor Brar. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Through you, Chair. Item 15.2 was considered in closed session. Direction was given to staff, including that the following motion be considered in open session. The Council authorized staff to transfer the $37,500,000 initially requested by the William Osler Health System for the Cancer Care Centre to the approved $87.5 million for a total contribution of $125 million from the City of Brampton's portion of the local share for Phase 2 redevelopment of the Peel Memorial Centre for Integrated Health and Wellness, and that Council authorized the CAO and the Treasurer to execute an agreement between William Osler Health System and the City of Brampton to transfer the $125 million as a municipal grant for Phase 2 development of the Peel Memorial Centre for Integrated Health and Wellness in a form approved by the Treasurer and City Solicitor, and that the Treasurer be authorized to disperse a maximum of $125 million from the Pledge to Peel Memorial Hospital Reserve Fund to William Osler Health System, contingent on and in accordance with the terms of the executed agreement.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I have Councillor Vicente's hand up. Councillor Vicente.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. And if I could just add to this, Madam Clerk, could we request, invite our friends from William Osler to come to Council perhaps in the new year to give us an update on everything that's happening with William Osler and the new hospital.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Vicente. So we're also going to include that staff be directed to invite William Osler representatives to give an update and presentation to Council. Perfect. Motion moved by Councillor Vicente. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? That motion carries. The next item, Madam Clerk, was 15.3, and after 15.3, we will bring forward the open session report on that matter as well.
Through you, Chair, 15.3 was considered in closed session. Direction was given to staff, including that the following motion be considered in open session. That the Chief Administrative Officer be delegated authority to execute a long-term lease agreement and any other documents necessary between the Corporation of the City of Brampton as landlord and the Regional Municipality of Peel as tenant on terms and conditions as directed by Council and otherwise acceptable to the Senior Manager, Realty Services, and in a form acceptable to the City Solicitor or Designate.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk, and I'll have that moved by Councillor Keenan, if that's okay. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? That motion carries.
One more.
Yep, Madam Clerk, go ahead.
Through you, Chair, 15.4 was an additional item. It was considered in closed session and direction was given to staff.
Thanks so much, Madam Clerk. So those are all the closed session items. We have one more report to deal with, which dealt with the 8 Rutherford Road South property, but we needed to have that closed session discussion first. So 9.2.7, we'll bring that forward now. Do any members have any questions or comments regarding the staff report? Seeing none. Motion moved by, I can move it, Councillor Santos, to approve the recommendations in the staff report. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? That motion carries. That is our final item, which brings us to adjournment for today. Our next, Councillor Pleshy? Next scheduled meetings, Committee of Council meetings, Wednesday, January 14th in the new year, 2026, 9:30 a.m. Motion moved by Deputy Mayor Singh to adjourn until next year, Committee of Council. All in favor? Anyone opposed? That carries. Thank you so much to our staff and everybody participating and watching today. We'll see you, Committee of Council, in January.